boom, 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 boom. This is the reviewer.
The little reviewer.
We're gonna do the reviews for the PlayStation 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe if I had like a backing track to it.
We need to multi-layer this masterpiece.
So as you probably noticed, we're going to be doing our very first PlayStation 4 review. Excited?
Yeah!
What do you think of the PlayStation 4 overall?
It's a pretty good system. It looks graphically impressive.
So what we're going to be doing on this review is I'm going to be doing the single player game and he's going to be talking about the multiplayer game. Because I cannot stand playing multiplayer. Because I'm terrible at it.
Yes, you are. I've seen you play. It's atrocious.
So let's talk about the single player game. You played it a little bit, so you can talk about it a little. So basically, you're just a normal family, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Fire shoots down from the sky, and the whole place is destroyed. All the cities in the United States are destroyed by a weapon in space, which is kind of cool. You get to see it happening. This game has this thing where it just jumps locations. There were times where I had no idea what I was doing, but it was basically follow the corridor, keep moving, shoot, 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 stay alive. Sometimes it felt like some locations weren't that much different than other locations. Oh look, we're in another city. Oh look, we're in another place. There were those times where it got creative, like when we were in a baseball stadium and we had to pluck people off, and that was kind of cool. Or when the whole town flooded. That was cool too. But the problem is, I was always like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I keep moving forward. The story flow and the way the game was presented wasn't that great. But I did like all the ways that it would show off the levels at times. It's like the single player game can be fun in parts, but I wish it was a lot more clear on what I was there to do and why. But let's be real here. Most people want to play it for the multiplayer game and the online experience. I did play it some, so I can talk about it a little bit. So what did you think of the multiplayer game?
The multiplayer was more of a survival of the fittest type thing, where everyone was in the same box and everybody had to fight for their lives and respawn immediately and rinse and repeat. And this is done with varied game modes where respawn times are different and there's different objectives.
That sounds like pretty much every multiplayer game out there. How is this game any different from the other shooters out there?
Other than different guns, it's the community. The character customization was probably the best part of the game because that's what made it so unique from other shooters. Is that everybody was kind of different. In other ways, it was kind of unbalanced because there was always one tactic going around. Like in the previous games, it was all about using a sniper rifle as a shotgun. In this game, they tried to balance it out by having about 30 plus perks in this game. This gives it almost infinite possibilities on how you can customize. You can make it so you can have an extra primary, have an extra explosive.
So basically you're saying perks are the options that you can use to make your characters different from other characters. And we're not just talking about the looks. Quicker regeneration, quicker loadouts, easier shooting, stuff like that?
Yes, and it was very handy in the multiplayer.
So you'd have to decide how well you're going to balance your character or how well you think you can play this game. If you think you're a better sniper than them, then you're going to want to use the perks that would more help you as a sniper. Did you have any problems with the online game? Was there any like clipping issues or lag issues that you had any problems with?
There was no problem with lag. Everybody was keeping up to date and there was no issues of, oh, somebody killed me because they had the advantage of I was behind and lag.
And there are lots of maps to play on.
About 15 without the DLC. And this game is already known to come out with 4 DLC packs with all very different amounts of content that are exclusive to those packs. So the game just kind of keeps you playing. Other than multiplayer and single player, there was also 2 modes that were in the game. Squads and Extinction. Extinction you unlock by playing the single player enough. And
by enough, you mean like one chapter?
Yes.
They put it on the first chapter just because they're like, guys, we know you don't want to play the single player game. Just give us just the cursory look, please. You can get it done in 10 minutes.
So there was Extinction, which allows you to infiltrate the aliens' base that was made by the creator of the explosion in the campaign. First time in a while, in fact, first time ever that aliens have been in the Call of Duty franchise.
It's been mostly zombies.
Yeah. It's surprisingly a lot more fun than you think. There's a lot of customization. Not as much as multiplayer, but it was like 6 menus of different stuff that you could pick right away. In squads, what you do is that you either face each other in AI-controlled multiplayer matches in which you just face AI opponents and don't have to worry about everybody else facing each other. Or you can play the survival mode, which is more of a people are going to shoot at you type survival with endless waves and packages coming down to save your life.
Alright, so there's all the normal modes. There's Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch, all the modes we just talked about. What was your favorite mode to play online?
I know this isn't very creative, but probably Team Deathmatch, just because it's the most played by everyone.
It's the one that shows off the most teamwork.
Yes, plus not everyone is shooting at you, so I think it's easier to play, and every beginner should probably just start there.
So, Call of Duty Ghosts. Ooh.
Spooky.
Would you buy, rent, or skip?
Probably a buy if you're a fan of multiplayer shooters.
I think this game is just worth a rent. The single-player game was good in parts. I just wish it was a little more coherent. And the multiplayer game, though, did look fun. If this is your type of game, I would try it as a rental first.
I agree with you. Practically, the only reason why you would rent this game is if you wanted to try out the game for multiplayer and play the single player. But the only reason why you might buy this game is to continue playing the multiplayer over the course of the year.
Right. So, if you enjoy the multiplayer, absolutely buy the game later. But I would rent it first.